Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is the planning proposal on the public agenda? Just on our agenda? Right, thanks. I don't know whether I just needed to mention it or not.
Far too early to tell the public about it.
Why?
We're live.
We're live now, panel. Thank you very much. Welcome everyone to the Waverley Local Planning Panel for the 24th of September 2025. On behalf of the panel, Waverley Council acknowledges the traditional owners who occupied the Sydney coast and acknowledge Aboriginal elders both past and present. We have no apologies today and declarations of interest have been submitted. Before I call for conflicts, I'll introduce the panel. Mary Lynn Taylor and Kerry Kirikou are our experts today of the panel. We have Claire Edwards, who's our community representative, and I'm Jacqueline Townsend, the chair today of the panel. Any members do want to declare an interest in any item today? Mary Lynn?
Yes, I'm declaring an interest in item number 7 as one of the members of the public that may be speaking here today and has written a submission is known to me.
So you're going to manage that by leaving?
I will leave the room, yes.
Thank you very much. You won't take part in the decision making later. This is a public meeting and it's being held by public teleconference, and by registering today you're also acknowledging your consent to being recorded. I asked today, there's a few speakers that there's a 3-minute limit per speaker. When you do speak, I ask that you don't speak over anyone else, that you turn your mics off and not to interrupt or the panel and or a speaker at any point in time. Once you've made your submission, you'll be asked, you may or may not be asked a question by a panel member. And once that has been decided, then you can remain on the meeting for the end of that item, or otherwise you can leave the meeting when you're finished making your submission. At the close of the public hearing today, the panel will retire to make our determination on each item, and those determinations and the audio recording, they will be both made available on Council's website as soon as possible. So now I'll go to the items, and the first one is item number item DA 289/2025. It's 154 McPherson Street, Bronte. There are some submissions received through the process and they've been provided to the panel. There's no registered speakers objecting to Council's recommendation, but we do have a representative from the applicant here. We've got George Caravanis from GSA Planning and Bronwyn Litera, the applicant. Which one would like to make a submission to the panel?
I will, Madam Chair, if that's okay.
Thank you. Yes, of course.
And
when you're ready.
Thank you. And thank you for the opportunity to address you today. My name is George Caravanis, and I'm speaking on behalf of the applicant and in support of the application. Bronwyn Litera is available to answer any questions. She's the architect. First, I'd like to confirm that we concur with the thorough assessment contained in the Council Officer's report and the recommendation for approval. We do not seek to change any of the conditions. Secondly, as you would be aware, the proposal is permissible in the R2 zone and importantly maintains the existing maximum building height and FSR. Now, while not increasing the height or FSR, as you will also be aware, the DA is accompanied by 2 clause 4.6 variations, and they relate to technical height and FSR departures. The Council's assessment has found that these technical breaches are acceptable because the breaches are existing and the proposal does not seek to materially increase the overall building height or FSR when compared to the existing situation. Given the majority of works are contained within the existing building envelope, the breaches do end up preserving the amenity of the surrounding development, which is the key objective of the FSR and height standards. On this basis, the Council's assessment has also found that there are sufficient environmental planning grounds to support the breaches, and both clause 4.6s are well founded. The proposed alteration additions are generally compliant with the council's built form controls under the DCP. Where there are slight variations, these are a result of, again, the existing built form and do not give rise to any material impacts. These have been dealt with in detail in the council officer's report and once again are found to be acceptable for the development. Overall, the proposal does provide an elegant and contemporary suite of alterations and additions that will significantly improve the amenity of the site and the appearance of the building itself. Members of the panel, it's for these reasons that the proposal, in our opinion, and indeed in the opinion of the council officers, is appropriate for the site locality and is worthy of approval. Thank you.
Thank you for that submission. Panel, do we have any questions?
Nothing.
And would we like to hear from the applicant, Bronwyn, at all? No? Well, thank you both for attending and to take any questions. We seem to have none from the panel, so thank you very much. And
Thank
we'll
you.
now move on to item number 2, which is DA 319-2025, 10 Mackenzie Street, Bondi Junction. And there were submissions received through the process, and those submissions have been provided to the panel. There's no registered speakers objecting to council's recommendation or in support. So we'll move on to item number 3. Number 3, we have DA 271-2025, 70 Gorlock Avenue, Tamarama. There were no submissions received through the advertising process, exhibition process, and there's an applicant registered to speak, Jack Dowse from Dowse Architecture. Jake, are you here?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Thank you. Sorry for saying Jack, it's Jake.
That's okay. It does happen.
When you're ready.
Yes, look, firstly, thank you for allowing me to speak on this matter. It's a minor matter, but of course we're in due process. Firstly, I just want to thank the planning staff who attended to this application. They've done a thorough job and were always supportive and helpful along the way. So it's very nice to get that, of course. There is one minor matter that our certifier brought up, just in the wording of one of the conditions, and I did send that through as late correspondence. It's just regarding we did a voluntary BCA report and recommendations for fire safety upgrade, and just one of the wordings of that condition just required an additional sentence at the end, just saying the certifier may consider an approved alternative solution to each of the recommended upgrades, provided the same level of fire safety is achieved. Now, the reason for that is just to give us, for example, there are fire doors required to be installed in the old Art Deco building, and they've got nice timber jambs around those doors, and there may be an opportunity to retain those jambs rather than replace them with ugly steel jambs, depending on some fire engineering, if it's all approval. So I did speak to the council's fire safety officer on this matter, and he had no objection, and that was submitted with the late correspondence as well. So hopefully that sentence can be added to the condition. Apart from that, we're just undertaking some upgrades of the building. The reason why there was a DA was because on the front facade, some of the existing windows needed to be, desired to be increased to take into account some of the beautiful views over there. And it would normally be a complying development application. However, the lot was deemed to be a flood lot because of the dip in the road in front of it. And so therefore a DA, and then the upper level windows were above the 9.5 metre. Hence here we are at the planning panel situation. So again, pretty minor, but due process, of course, that's why we're here. And if there's any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them.
Thank you. I think that's condition 8. Where
Yes,
the-
condition
yeah,
8, yes.
great. Any questions for the
I
panel?
think,
No, that's it. Thank you, Jake, very much for coming along. Appreciate your attendance.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Now we'll move on to item number 4, which is DA 343 2025, which is 285 Burrell Street, Tamarama. There was no submissions received through the exhibition period, and there's a registered speaker who we have the applicant, Christina Scenario. Christina, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Thank you. Would you like to make a short submission, or are you here for questions only?
I'm here for questions only. I'm the architect.
Thank you.
Of the owners. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Any questions?
Not from me, thank you.
No? Well, thank you for making yourself available for questions. We don't appear to have any. So you have a nice afternoon, and the outcome will be up on the website later this week. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll now move on to item number 5, which is DA 310 2025, 3 Park Parade, Bondi. There was no submissions received during the exhibition period. The registered speakers are for the applicant, Kaima Doyle from Robertson Urban Planning. Kaima, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
You're here. Are you here to make a submission or to answer any questions?
I'd just like to reiterate the 2 points we sent through via late correspondence.
That's great. That'd be good if you could do that. Thank you.
No problem. So my name's Kaima Doyle. I'm from Robinson Urban Planning. We did submit some late correspondence and had a little bit of back and forth with the assessment planner. So I'll just raise those very briefly so we can ensure they get captured in this sort of consideration and assessment by the panel. So firstly, we would like to add drawing A931 revision A, signage and mailboxes. It was submitted to council and it did form part of the assessment set, but it appears it's dropped off the list of recommended approval documents and plans. So we believe this is just an omission, a clerical error, and we would just like to see that drawing added to the recommended approval drawing list. And then secondly, which was the late correspondence we sent through, we would like the panel to consider deleting condition 2B, which seeks to delete the proposed paving to the rear setback. We believe the proposed paving is modest in scale, permeable paving can be used. This corner of the site doesn't get a lot of sun, so maintaining grass in this area is difficult. The paving will also significantly improve the amenity and functionality for apartment 13 and make this outdoor area usable and functional. And it was a previously underutilised space on the site. Planting is being retained within the rear setback, and a large portion of the rear setback is being retained as grass space. So we think the proposed paving is a reasonable addition to the site, and we'd like to see that condition deleted from the consent.
Great. Thank you very much. Questions, panel?
No, thank you.
From the panel? No questions. So thank you for your time and thank you for addressing that late submission.
No problems. Thank you.
Thank you. We now move on to item 6, which is the item you have a conflict on, Mary Lynn. Is that correct? So Mary Lynn will just leave the room. Item 6 is DA 192 2025. It's 46 Blake Street, Dover Heights. There were a number of submissions received during the exhibition process. They've been provided, and there is one registered speaker who is Tony Moody, who's speaking against the council recommendation. Tony? Is Tony?
Chair, Tony Moody. How are
Thank you. So Mary Lynn has left the room. So when you're ready, you can start your submission.
Chair and panel members, Tony Moody, consultant planner. I was requested by the owners and residents of 48 Blake Street to provide my professional opinion. I have no objections to the proposed dwelling internal alterations. I, however, fully support the recommendation of David Knight to delete the proposed pergola under condition 2A. I strongly consider that the proposed pergola, consistent with the advice of David Knight, affects views of the icon, including Sydney Harbour Bridge and Sydney waterways. And most importantly, the loss of view is a direct result of the proposed pergola, which significantly breaches council's rear setback control. In other words, panel members, you have a proposal before you which significantly breaches a planning control, rear setback, and that generates a significant loss of an icon, Sydney Harbour Bridge and the associated waterways. In terms of the views across the side boundary, David Knight, in my view, again correctly notes that whilst it may be difficult to retain in a lot of circumstances, that in these circumstances, the fact that it's a breaching development justifies refusal of the pergola. You have a situation where there's, in my opinion, an egregious view loss resulting from a breaching development. David Knight considers that it's a moderate impact and consistent with tenacity that would result in unreasonable view loss. It's my professional opinion that the view loss is more than that, from moderate to approaching devastating, because of the loss of the Sydney Harbour Bridge or the impact on the Sydney Harbour Bridge. I should also add that the house on the development site itself has panoramic west-facing views. My client's house is significantly blocked of the views to the west, and the only portion is a portion of the rear living room and their rear deck. Thus, it's very important to retain those limited views, and that is why the proposed pergola is earnestly requested. There has been a recent judgment by Commissioner Walsh in Furlong, who has said, whilst it may be difficult to retain views, there are circumstances in which side views should be retained. And David Knight considers that is a circumstance under this scenario, and we earnestly request that adoption of deletion of condition 2A be endorsed by the planning panel. By the way, there's reference to the 1.6 metre eyeline height. I consider that this application is incorrect in these circumstances. 1.6 metres is to deal with privacy screens, not view loss. And that principle was actually stated by then Senior Commissioner in the case of Rose Bay Marina. Overall, panel members, I endorse the recommendation for deletion of the proposed pergola. Thank you very much for considering this submission.
Thank you, Tony, for that submission. Panel members, there were any questions? No, thank you. Very helpful. And our decision will be uploaded onto the website later this week.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Item number 7, DA 240-2025. We'll just wait for Mary Lynn to come back. Which is 1 to 3 Kimberley Street, Vaucluse. Here she is. Thank you. So it's item number 7, DA 240-2025, 1 to 3 Kimberley Street, Vaucluse. There were one submission received during the exhibition process. There's no registered speakers by an objector or an applicant. So we'll move on now to item 8. Item 8 is DA 345-2021D, 17 Bindara Road, Dover Heights. It's a section 456 modification to DA 345-2021 to extend the usable area of the rooftop. The submissions received through the process, there was one, and the objector, Peter Cape, is registered to speak. Peter's not online.
He's having trouble.
He's having trouble? Okay, all right, we'll come back to number 8. So we'll move on to number 9, DA 156 2025, 78. Oh, is that Peter? No. 78 Challoner Street, Rose Bay. And the submissions received, there were several during the exhibition period. We've been provided, the panel's been provided with those submissions. We've got a registered speaker, Natalie Greenfield, speaking against the council recommendation. So Natalie, are you online? You are?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. So when you're ready, you've got your 3 minutes to commence.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I'm one of the owners of Unit 2, number 80, Challier Street, which is to the east of number 78. So number 80 is a duplex, and my husband and I own the bottom unit. We lodged an objection with Unit 1, which is upstairs, and number 76 on the other side of the development, which was written by a town planner, which was quite comprehensive. I'm sure you've seen it, so won't go into it. But it sets out a number of non-compliance issues, which council's assessment agreed with, but found that they were acceptable anyway. So I'm here really just to highlight key concerns from our perspective. The size of the building for the dual occupancy is too big for the lot. The lot's 398 square metres, and the minimum allowed for dual occupancy is 450 square metres. And to accommodate the size of the development, it's proposed for the building to be extended out the back. There's a very large terrace on the first floor, and there'll be significant excavation. The large terrace will look directly into our private space, and council's assessment, from my reading, didn't mention how there'll be any mitigation measures to our property. There is mention of privacy mitigation for number 76, but not for us. So our views and sole access will be reduced. And I also noted in the assessment that the council tried to contact Unit 1 to do a visit, but I just wanted to note that there was no contact made to us in Unit 2. So I'm not sure if the impacts to us have been fully considered. But really of most concern to us is the proposed excavation of 3.3 metres, significantly along, very close to the side of our property. There's no structural engineering report, geotechnical engineering report to assess the soil profile, the subterranean conditions, and possible impact on us. Just noting how close the excavation is to us. Our property, the main part of it was built in the 1930s, so it's really unknown to us what our foundations are like. And I don't know if this has been considered. So I note that council's assessment has put a condition, number 13, that a report must be prepared by a structural engineer and geotechnical engineer detailing a number of things, which I think is absolutely crucial before any approval can be granted for this development. And if it's possible, we would like to have the opportunity to see that report as well before approval is granted. So thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you very much. Do we have questions? Ms. Greenfield?
No, thank you.
No, thank you for that submission. The applicant, Justin Lowe, you're from the Studio JLA Architecture and Interiors. You're registered to speak. Is there a submission or you're here for questions, take questions? Is that Justin there?
Yes, it is. Here to take questions, but we support council's detailed assessment and recommendation.
Questions, panel?
No, thank you.
No, thank you very much for giving time to take questions. The panel doesn't have anything arising. So we'll now move on to the next item, and thank you for, no, not on this item. So thank you very much, Justin. The person to speak, is this Peter?
Yes.
It is. All right. So Justin, the item that you're on, we've now concluded. There's no further questions. So we're now returning back to an earlier item where we had a speaker registered. Thank you. So Peter, you're here for DA 345 2021D, 17 Bindara Road, Dover Heights. You put through a written submission during the exhibition process. You're here now to make a further submission. or to speak to your early submission. So you've got 3 minutes. So when you're ready, you can start. You're on mute. So if you could just press the unmute button, the microphone button down the bottom of your screen, and then that should remove you from it. There you go. So you're off. You're ready to go now.
Yes, thank you.
you.
I don't want to elaborate on my previous submission, but I just want to say that, or to remind the council that the initial application for this building had originally been rejected by the council on the basis of the various objections made by surrounding neighbours. It then went to the Planning and Environment Court where it was approved. Now, I must say that I don't know why this additional application has been made at this very, very late stage when the building is virtually completed. But there is no particular reason, in my opinion, why there should be any extended usage. Neighbours will already be, in my view, be affected by the current usage, which will allow parties and noise and so forth. And in this area, noise tends to echo and reverberate. And because it is a corner property with connections to 3 adjoining streets, it will have a significant impact on the amenities of all those neighbours, including my own home, which is diagonally opposite. And in my view, I cannot see any justification for any extended usage of the roof of this property. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. And apologies for, it's always a struggle sometimes trying to connect to these meetings. So well done for persevering.
Thank you very much.
Any questions, panel? No?
No, thank you.
Great. So thank you, Peter. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That item will be deliberated on after the close of the public meeting and
All right.
uploaded to the website later this week, under Council's website later this week.
Thank you for your patience. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
I think we're now up to the last item of the public meeting, which is item number 10. So you can leave, Peter, unless you want to stick around for me to call number 10. DA 217-2025, Unit 217, Gilbert Street, Dover Heights. There was no submissions during the exhibition period and there's no registered speakers. So that means that item can be concluded and the meeting I will close as we've dealt with everything on the agenda. So thank you, staff. Thank you, panel.